Hello, everybody. Super good morning to everyone. This is Kevin Chan here, and today we are continuing with the journey of looking at the transformation of your animal sign from 2025 to 2026, and what are the things that you can do for the next 5 months, maybe. Right, to welcome the new energy, right? So yes, this is the bridge to 2026. Right, so how's everybody doing, right? So hello Manuel, hello Pekpo, hello Jocelyn, hello Mabel, hello Eve. How you guys all doing? Hopefully it's doing fine. And we are at the tail end of the month of September, so fast, right? So another month is basically gonna be gone already, right? So yeah, I know, another coming, right? So for those of you who have already subscribed to my Substack, you would have received the next month forecast already by now. I think all should be out, if I'm not wrong. I also forget. All right, so according to the vote, the goat win. You think, not the red, man? The red lose by 1 vote. 56 versus 57. Okay, right, so 57 win. See, it just won by 1 vote only. So we will talk about good first. Good, right, man? Right, let me just change the screen to the smaller version, right? So that's the smaller version of the screen, so that you all can see the slide more. Right, so hello Jeannie, hello Nale, hello Heg, how you guys all doing? Right, so yesterday got any news? No lah. Malaysia got one. There was a big truck lorry, as we call it, it just smashed through a toll booth together with a SUV. Right, so the SUV basically is total. Everybody inside the SUV is gone. Right, so in Malaysia, a lot of these buses, basically heavy vehicle, heavy vehicle traveling at high speed, then they would start to blame no brake lah, this like that. What to do, right? So for those of you who are driving, please do not drive in front of a heavy vehicle. In front, not behind, in front of a heavy vehicle. So if you see heavy vehicle from your rear view mirror, if you see got heavy vehicle at the back, let the heavy vehicle pass you, please. Yeah, they will smack you on, especially when you're a smaller vehicle, right? So just be careful. Right, so come, let's go in and take a look at this, right? So as usual, if you have not gotten your BaZi chart printed, by now, I've already been saying this for the past like 4-5 years, right? Right, so if there's still any new one, right, so especially if you have shared this out to your community, right, so the fella is pretty new, right, so you can get your BaZi chart printed lah, right? So type in Astro, you can just sign up for a free account. Free account will be sufficient for you to get your BaZi chart, right? So when you get a BaZi chart, you will see that there's 4 animal signs. Right, so one is representing the year, one is representing the month, one representing the day, one is representing the hour. So each of them have different functionality. They govern different area of your life. If you want to find out which govern what, there is a video that talk about each of the pillar. Right, so go and watch the video. Right, so hello Elton. Right, so today got a lot of new name. Nali, Elton are all new names. So you guys are getting less shy already. Right, so we got 4 animal sign, right? So the animal sign can come from any one of these, so which means that, like for example, this one, the goat is in the month, right? So the goat can be in the year, the goat can be in the day, the goat can be hour, the goat can be in the month. It can be any one of these, right? So you can get it printed so that your 4 animal sign. Your 4 animal sign will never change throughout your life. So actually, you just have to remember it once. Your BaZi chart, there's only 8 characters to remember anyway. Then, you go for any session, anybody give you any information on this, then you will know how to do a quick interpretation on how does it impact yourself, right? So, okay, go find out your animal sign, whether, there's any goat inside your animal sign. If there's none, then today's session got nothing to do with you. Okay, right, so pretty simple. So let's take a look, right? 12 animal, we have done rooster, right? So there's still people gonna ask me, how come your vote don't have this animal? Because done already, then don't have. We slaughtered the animal already. So rooster has been done, horse has been done, monkey has been done. So right now, today, we'll be looking at the goats, right? So looking at the goats. So how did the goat fare in this particular new year? So what are the things that you should be prepared for on this particular coming new year, right? So come, let's take a look at goat. Pretty simple, right? So graphic wise, just introduce you is that the goat has finally found the oasis. right? So the goat did not have much of a good support, right? So for I think for quite fair amount of month, right? For quite fair amount of month, right? Years, right? So you can see that on this particular year 2025, the fella doesn't really have much of a good start, right? So the only good start you have is Bright Hall, and Bright Hall not really very useful. Not really very useful. So I can say that it is pretty much a boring year, right? So then going into 2026, you can see that it start to give some good start, especially if you take a look at it. 2026 is a combined year for the good. See, when you have the word combined, usually the imagination is things are getting better, right? So things are getting better, because anything that is combination mean that you gain access to additional energy, right? Always combine, you will produce new energy, right? So you get additional, so you get to pool resources, right? So what happened here, that if we take a look right now, it's really like a situation whereby a goat, very little goat has traveled very far, no resources, has been hungry, no water. Then suddenly, right after going through the upper apex of the hill, then you see from far away, still quite far away, and still got another 6 more months before you reach this particular what we call oasis, right? So hope is in front, right? So yeah, it's time for you to prepare for a comeback. So when we talk about prepare for a comeback, you need to know you're coming back from what lah, right? So again, too many people say that they want to do things, but they never prepare for it, or more specifically, never think about it, never plan about it, right? So a lot of people say that I want to be successful, but when you ask him, what are the preparation you have done, what are the things that you've never done anything. But I want to be successful, never done anything. I want to be successful, never done anything. You heard this a lot of times, right? So how can I get better exam marks? Then you ask them, how have you been studying? No, I haven't been studying yet. I'm still scrolling TikTok. But one better mark, right? Couldn't help lah, right? So now you have to start to sit down and basically plan what are the things that you want to do, right? So of course, start to reconnect with people already, right? So because if you can see the goat, this particular is pretty isolated. Pretty isolated also mean that the fella can be very down, right? So fella goat can be pretty down this year, right? So look like a very isolated, especially you got things like leopard tail there, so it's like everywhere you go, it seems like offending people. Right? Doesn't look like a good year, right? Doesn't look like a good year, but it's time for you to reconnect with people, right? So now again, the question is reconnect with who? Reconnect with useful people, like hello, come on lah. That one don't need to explain. What is useful people? So again, if your preparation to come back is that, I want to start going for hiking again. So who should you reconnect with? Swimming people or cycling people? Right? Swimming, cycling people got no use in hiking, ma. You have to go and reconnect with hiking people, ma. Right? So that one is, given normal logic of thinking, right? So you want to do whatever activity, you connect with those, right? So like, for example, you want to prepare for a comeback, let's say for your business, right? So, business has been so not really good, want to come back with your business, then, you need to start to reconnect back with your vendor, your supplier, all those kind of things, start to reconnect back, right? So, horse and, yes, Crimson, horse, goat is combo. Right, so horse and goat is combo. Yes, correct. So next year is the year of the horse, so the goat will automatically have a combo. Pretty awesome. Right. So you were born in goat year, good lah. You were born in goat year, then your combo is basically in the what we call the social palace, right? So next year easier for you to know people, right? So and then of course it's time for you to let go and things to let go, right? So now a lot of people also they like to live in the past one. They just cannot let go of the past, right? So what past has already passed, there's no way for you to go back to change anything else, right? So yeah, year's crappy, leave it alone now, right? So everybody also got crappy year one, right? So if you take a look at it, right? So because it is the same 108-ish star. Yes, it's total is about 108. Each star that is redistributed every year. Every year it got redistributed. So it's the same star, right? So which means that, you know, the star have to occupy some box, so which means that some people will have more stars, some people will have less star. So if you know, drag it through the entire 60 years, right? So, you know, the entire, there's only 60 different pillar only you can get, right? So there's only 60 different way of doing distribution, correct or not? Right? So, you know, there's going to be some year that have more star here, there's going to be some year have less star. Makes sense, right? So you need to have that particular thing of letting go, because if not, right, so it's going to be very difficult for you to move forward in front, right? So you know, so those are the things that you need to start to take a look at when you are doing all of this kind of thing, especially, you know, when you take a look at the good, this year got fairly quite a lot of negatives as compared to the positive star, right? So like Bright Hall, you know, seriously, I don't really call them positive. Okay, but anyway, right, so because it got the positive star, and you can see that the number of negative star basically would drop next year. So which means that, you know, you are gonna be facing with lesser challenge, right? So this has nothing to do with the intensity of the challenge. Your challenge can be lesser, but the intensity could be higher, right? So, you know, you've gone through this particular what we call changes, right? So, and of course, you know, if we take a look at it, you know, the missing of the wood, right? So you can see that the wood right now changed into pure fire. So you have to go and do a little bit of analysis as to what is the wood to you. Like, for example, if you are a wood day master, right? So wood day master is the Jia and also Yi. So you know that you'll be missing a companion star. So which means that, you know, if you don't go and reconnect this particular year, next year is going to be very difficult for you to reconnect, because that particular reconnection star is missing, right? So, you know, if let's say that, you know, you are the fire day master is Ping and also Ting, right? So Ping and Ting, then the wood is your resource star, right? So which means that you will be disconnected per se from knowledge next year, right? So you'll be missing that particular part next year, right? So which means that, you know, this year you need to reconnect with people who has knowledge, because this year you have the connection, if this year is the connection, you don't go and repair the connection, or you don't go and connect it. Next year it's not going to be dead there, only you go and connect, right? So when you are in demand, you need to go and do something about it already. You don't wait until it is gone, right? So if let's say that, you know, is the earth, right? So earth basically is discipline, so you guys know 7 killing, right? So, and also the 7 killing and also direct officer, right? So 7 killing direct officer a lot of time represent discipline or maybe courage, right? So you need to be reconnecting with some of the rules and regulation, maybe, right? So which means you re-establish that particular discipline that you need to have. Certain rules and regulation would need to be established back this particular year, re-establish it, so that next year, you know, you don't have to go through that particular process, right? So of course, you know, if let's say that you are metal, then, you know, you may be not be able to access money, right? So per se, again, money next year, right? So you can see that there is a, you know, change of this. Then, you know, this year you need to be reconnecting back with money, right? So reconnect back with money means that, you know, you need to redo your entire financial. It's time for you to sit down and redo your entire financial. So to understand your financial standing, maybe, right? There's one thing for you to do. Maybe, you know, have a chat with some financial advisor, I don't know, or you got some friend which is much better at financial understanding and management than you, know, reconnect with these sort of people, right? So talk to them, right? So talk to them, right? So of course, you know, when talk about money, reconnect with your customer, given this sort of stuff, right? So if you let's say that you are water, you know, then, you know, this is your output, right? So, you know, so you might want to right now start to sit down and create some more idea for you to use next year. Right, so since next year the star combination seems to be a bit better, right? So now you need to sit down and right now, you know, start to take a look at what are the idea that, you know, you can work at, right? So all this kind of, so these are called preparation in readiness for next year, right? So if you're not doing this right now, you know, then how to help you? So you want to wait until next year. So a lot of people, you know, sometimes it's, you know, they wait until next year, then they basically did not do anything useful this particular year. Right, so Nali said that the goat is in the hour, right? So the hour govern your internal thinking, right? So so if you take a look at this, this year your internal thinking not really that good, right? So your internal or the view of the future that's basically presented inside your mind, the way that you plan things is basically not really that good, lah. Right? So if I'm telling you next year, it's going to be upgraded. So again, this year you need to think of, what are the things that you want to plan for next year? Is it some investment stuff that you need to plan for? So if the investment stuff that you need to plan for, then please go and study investment. That's it. Get yourself ready for investment. Right? So a lot of people really confused that they think that there are really such thing called investment luck. And there's no investment luck in this world. Because why? The stock market don't care about your BaZi chart. Right, the asset class don't care about your BaZi chart, right? So every day how many people buy, let's say Tesla, right? Buy Tesla, buy Apple share, right? So you tell me Apple share is supposed to listen to whose BaZi chart? None, right? The stock don't care about your BaZi chart, so stop having that particular delusional thinking that this year my hour pillar very on, so my investment going to be good. No, investment don't care about that. Right, so the way that it works is very different. Okay, right? So so those are things that you need to start to understand. Right, so there's a lot of misinterpretation in the market. Right, so and also don't blame them. Right, so because you guys want convenient, right? So they give you convenient answer. What I call happy answer. Right, so go and take a look at those type of situation. Right, so again, what else that you should be taking a look at, or what are the things that you need to look at basically doing, right? So now back to the letting go part of it, right? So it is really important for you to know that where is the direction that you want to go. In life is the same. I tell you, in life is the same. Too many people spend too many times, dealing with trauma. Right? You want to call it trauma? No, anything that's basically happened some time ago that you are still holding on to is basically classified as trauma. And unfortunately, too many people have trauma. Right? So and please don't be surprised. Almost everybody got childhood trauma. There are certain things that is happening in the when you are smaller that time, when you are in a state of helplessness. But a lot of people is trapped in that state that they never grow up. And they blame everything on the traumatic experience, right? So which means that you have never done in the market called healing. Healing basically is acknowledging the trauma again. So you go and look at the trauma and and tell yourself okay, so this was during a time when I was a bit more helpless. So right now I've grown up already, so I'm not a helpless person anymore, right? So so right now I will take back the responsibility, right? Healing is basically that, tell you, right? So to acknowledge the situation that during that particular time you are at a helpless state, which is true. Okay, so right now that you're grown up, I'm gonna take back the responsibility right now. So it's to ask your trauma kids to let go, right? So you who have been guarding the trauma, you have done it good enough, right? So I understand why you are guarding the particular trauma at that point in time, because you are scared that it will hurt the kids. So right now I'm big enough, I grown up already, it's time for me to take the responsibility so you can let go. It's basically a command to your brain to release. You have to go and learn and do that. If not, whatever good start I give you, you cannot utilize the good start, because why? You are still trapped in the past. Right, when you are trapped in the past, you cannot access the future's stuff. You are still stuck there. Right, so you are not accessing the future things. So you can see that that's why there is a lot of resistance, right? So take a look at our education. Our education, a lot of resistance, right? Because why? The education is still stuck in industrial age. It is an invention of the industrial age to make people so that they can work in an assembly line. It's not wrong. Right, it's not wrong, but the assembly line has long moved away already. So we are in a different place, right? So right now, if you don't change the education system, you are still stuck there. And a lot of people still don't want to change the education system, right? It's not how hard you fall, it's how you bounce, right? So in a way there is, right? So you have to learn how to, you know, look at it, right? So a lot of situation, like also for example, like let's say relationship, right? So now relationship, a lot of people spend enormous amount of time wasting on, you know, trying to understand what happened to this person's previous relationship. You see, you have a relationship with someone is not because you want to have the previous relation, you want to have a future relationship. Why don't the two of you work out how does the future relationship is going to look like, rather than wasting your time on, you know, how many girlfriend and boyfriend this fella had before, you know, what are the relationship, you know, who is the boyfriend, who's the girlfriend, you know, don't waste your time on all this kind of stuff. Same thing also, you know, in career also is the same, right? So again, you waste so many time on, you know, what sort of experience this fella has before this. You have that particular thinking that the previous experience will basically, you know, foster the future direction. In a lot of time, it's actually not. So no, normal example I give to you, you know, why does a new employer pay more than the old employer when you go for an interview? You figure that out, man. Right? So, you know, because why? You know, when you are inside your own company, you always talk about your past contribution. But whereas when you go to the interview, you know that there's no past contribution of you into the new company. There are none. So you cannot do that anymore. So that particular part is it cut off already. Right? So that's letting go, right? So there's nothing for you to talk about your previous contribution to this company, nothing. You can only talk about future contribution. So now the new company is paying you based on your future contribution, you know. It's the thing that you're going to bring into the company, not the thing that you have brought in. So, you know, if you want a salary increment, stop talking about your past contribution. Nobody cares, right? So it's about what you need to prepare yourself. What are the possible training that you need to get into? You want to be that particular position. What are the things that you need to do? All these kind of things, right? So that's why it's very important for you to let go, right? So, you know, yeah. Right, so, no, just think about it from that particular perspective. Yes, crappy year. Right? I can tell you the good. Yeah, pretty crappy the year, right? So, and so, okay. So, you know, so it's like the same thing. You know, when the year is good for you, what are you doing? Whether you will pass one, whether good, you know, whether it's good year, whether it's bad year, right? So one thing fair about the world is that everybody 24 hours will pass. No matter you're rich, you know, no matter you are poor, right? So your 24 hours will pass in a same sequence as everybody else. Realize that, right? So, you know, so it's about how you spend that particular hour, man. Right? So same thing, right? So, you know, really sit down, you know, as a good right now is a good time to basically sit down, you know, and then take a piece of paper. Start to write, you know, what are the things that, you know, you have wanted to do that, you know, maybe having some problem, and start to think of, you know, who are the people that you need to start connecting with, right? So what generally is the things that you want to do, and what are the stuff that you need to just put aside, right? So again, letting go also, you know, please don't really think of it as, you know, deleting stuff. It's not. Sometimes it's just putting it aside. Right, putting it aside, you know, again, later only come back to whack the fella lah. Right, so right now you're not big enough to whack the fella. Later come back and whack lah. Nothing wrong one, right? Nothing wrong, because eventually you will need to handle everything. Right, so whatever that is given to you as a challenge, right? Think of it as preparation for your future. Right, so think of it as a preparation for your future. So everything is basically a learning experience, right? So, you know, there's a reason why it is put in front of you. So it's to prepare you for a bigger shock. Right? So put it in a way, you know, to prepare you for a bigger shock, you know, or to basically let you experience it in a smaller scale, maybe, right? So before the actual things come in, right? Makes sense, right? So, you know, that's basically for the fellow goat lah. Right, so that's basically for the fellow goat. So the goat can look forward to a when we talk about better year, right? So it's better in comparison, right? So if it's compared to this particular year, it's better, right? So it's better. So again, there is also a different level of, you know, where you jump, right? So, you know, if you don't move yourself up into the higher level, I give you the same amount of distance in jumping, you know, you still reach different height, Understand or not? Right? So that's why I take a lot of time, right? So even if right now you need to crawl, you crawl. Right? So you need to crawl, you crawl. Just don't stand on the same spot. Right? Because the oasis is not gonna get closer to you. Okay, so yeah, I saw one notes in the Facebook, right? So in social media, right? So you delay jumping into the water is not going to get any warmer. Right? So so it's saying that if let's say that the excuse that you use for not jump into the water is that you are afraid that the water is cold. No matter how long you stand in the shore, the water still remain cold. Right? So you guys know, right? Go swimming. The moment you jump into the water, after some time already, the water stop being cold, right? Because your body would have adjusted the temperature. Yeah, so yeah, so you go and play with water. After some time already, you would have feel that the entire water is actually at a temperature that is okay, even no matter how cold the water is. Your body basically adjusts to it. Right, so it's basically that. Okay, Ken. Right, so this is for your little goat, right? So if you got any of your friend that has a goat inside their BaZi chart, feel free to send this to them, right? So know how to get in touch with me if you need my assistance to make sense of your BaZi chart, right? So again, so you can use the Telegram. Telegram got a PM function. You can PM me, right? So or you can go to Substack. Substack also you can PM me in Substack, or you can go and join the community group which is on Facebook. Facebook also you can Facebook Messenger me. There's a lot of way for you to get in touch with me. All right, so do whatever is necessary, right? So do take a look at your personal BaZi chart, right? So I will also suggest that you just take a look at it, because you might come across chances of your friend asking you about it. Then at least when you take a look at it, you got some answer to give them, right? Correct or not? So a lot of people is study for very long already, but cannot make sense out of the thing. Right, so at least you've gone through this session, you got some information to give to that person, right? So just give the advice to the other party. All right, easy, can, right? So that's it. See you guys. Bye.